What's going on, guys? JHoyt here. This is gonna be a crazy video, let's just say that. So first things first, this is a clip from, I should say a game from my live stream where we went 97-7 on Nuketown. Was trying to break the 100, misused a streak in this one, and we definitely could have gotten it. Unfortunate mistakes happened, but what this video is the CDL playoffs start today. I think in a couple hours from when you guys are seeing this, and it's going to be an absolutely crazy event. We're going to have 4 days where the playoffs start. Now, this is also going to be a two-part video, right? The first one is today. Second one going to be next week before the final championship weekend. So a new format for the CDL. We'll get all to it in the video, but for now, guys, enjoy the video. What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Like I said in the intro, this is from Black Ops 4. We have a 97-7 gameplay. Absolutely insane. So enjoy that in the background, as today we're talking about the CDL playoffs. And as I also explained, it's going to be two parts. First one is playoffs. Second one is championship weekend, where the final three teams will battle it out for the crown of Call of Duty World, not World Champion, but Call of Duty Champion, the COD League Champion, whatever you want to call it. That's what they'd be crowned at the end of all this. So the first one goes from Wednesday, August 19th, today, to August 23rd, which is this Sunday. We're going to have the CDL playoffs. It's basically the first 3 rounds of the winner's bracket, followed with the first 5 rounds of the loser's bracket. So we're basically going to eliminate all but 3 teams in this one. Now, I wish they would have done it a little bit different, but not the case here. But then championship weekend will feature the final 3 teams. We'll have the winner's bracket finals, the winner's finals, the loser's finals, and then, of course, the grand finals. Everything is still played online. We're not on LAN, so you know there's always going to be an asterisk next to this championship, no matter who wins it. But with $4.6 million on the line, let's get into the matches. So our first matchup of the entire event in our winner's bracket, round 1, is going to feature the New York Subliners and the Minnesota Roker. Now, these two teams have only faced off 2 times. New York has won both of them. New York also had a great second half of the season. However, Minnesota not doing well. They had a strong first half, but the second half, not so much. They're 1-9 in the last 10 matches. But also, going into this event, they made a roster change. They benched arguably the best player in the world, allegedly, GodRx, for a young talent in Exceed. Was this the right play? I guess we're going to have to find out. But also, he was the best player, right? He's one of the best players, arguably one of the top players all year long. Then he gets benched right before the biggest event all year. And that's kind of screwy. But in the end of this, my prediction, the New York Subliners will walk away with a 3-1. Our second match of the winner's bracket, round 1, features the London Royal Ravens and the Toronto Ultra. Now, although these guys have only faced off 1 time the entire year, 1 time, that's crazy. How do you only face off against 1 time? That doesn't make sense. London did win that matchup. However, Toronto are coming off an event win, coming out of Toronto, actually. London has been a solid team all year long, don't get me wrong, but they haven't really gotten to the semifinals. Well, 1 time where they also made it to the grand finals against Chicago, losing 3-1 in that one, again, like I said, against Chicago. Then you have Toronto, on the other hand, where they've only really looked good at the last event, but they also did beat Atlanta, Dallas, Chicago as the 3 basically top teams in the game, and then also Optic Gaming Los Angeles. But in this one, I'm predicting the London Royal Ravens will walk away with the Game 5 victory, 3-2. Hopping down to the losers bracket now, our first matchup is going to feature the Battle of Los Angeles, as we have Optic Gaming Los Angeles against the Los Angeles Guerrillas. Head to head, these guys are 1-1. Guerrillas have been basically the worst team all year long, 3-7 in the last 10. Optic Gaming Los Angeles have also been one of the worst teams all year long, been a bottom 16 all year long, but they're also 3-7 in the last 10. Optic Gaming Los Angeles look to have the edge on skill and notable players and players that come alive during the playoffs, but I'm going with Optic Gaming Los Angeles as my prediction with a 3-1 victory, moving them on. Our second match of the losers bracket, round 1, is going to feature the Paris Legion versus the Seattle Surge. Now, head-to-head, Paris has won the only matchup, so they're 1-0. Plus, Seattle have sucked pretty much all year long, only making it to 1 semifinals. Although that's the same as London, they just haven't looked as good. Paris also hasn't really looked too great recently, but they did end a huge losing spree with a grand finals appearance, and that it came out of nowhere. But I would have to say the edge would go to Paris, but it could go either way in this one with the players on Seattle. They have some of those playoff proven players, and this one, like I said, could go either way. But I'm predicting Paris to walk away with a 3-1 victory. Losers bracket round 2 is going to feature the Minnesota Roker versus Optic Gaming Los Angeles. Head to head, these guys have only faced off against each other 3 times. And Optic Gaming Los Angeles have won 2 of them. Minnesota won 1. So pretty close, nothing crazy blowout there. But like we said earlier, Minnesota had a great first half of the season. Second half, they struggled. They did not do nearly as well. I think they were sitting on 120 CDL points for a very long time. But this one, like I said, Minnesota still was a good team, right? They did change the roster around. They benched arguably their best player. This one could go either way, right? Minnesota, like I said, has been a good team. They have surprised a lot of teams in this one. Could they bring that into this matchup? I don't think so. I think Optic Gaming Los Angeles is going to come away in the Game 5 with a 3-2 victory, moving them on. Staying in the losers bracket, round 2, match 2 is going to feature the Toronto Ultra versus the Paris Legion. Head to head, Paris leads this one 2-1. However, Toronto, like we said, just came off a win, but have they figured out what it takes to win, right? I know they won, but can they replicate that, right? Because before that, they sucked. They were not a good team. But the kind of like the fourth quarter of the year kind of gave them a little bit of success. But the other thing is, can Paris keep up what they had in London, where I believe that was that grand finals appearance? And I don't know if that's going to happen. I really don't. But in this one, I'm going to go with a little bit of an upset. I'm going to predict Toronto to walk away in the Game 5 with a 3-2 victory. Back up to the winners bracket. Round 2, match 1 is going to debut the Chicago Huntsmen in this one against the New York Subliners, who already came off a victory in my predictions here. Head to head, Chicago has actually won 3 times versus New York's 2. And, you know, when you look at that, these teams are 2 pretty good teams, right? Chicago's been a top team all year long, but they've struggled against New York. And the head-to-head is in their favor. They have struggled against them, not even gonna lie. But what I'm hoping is that Chicago figures out how to beat the New York Subliners and move them on and take them out. So, in this one, gonna be a good matchup. I'm hoping for some good matches, not some too close, heart-breaking and heart-pounding matches, because like I want to be able to have a good heart after this one. But I'm predicting Chicago to walk away with this one in the 3-1 fashion. Our second match of winners bracket round 2, match 2 features the Florida Mutineers against the London Royal Ravens. this is the first look at Florida in this event, along with Chicago, like we just said. But this one's interesting, where the head-to-head matchup doesn't look at what you'd think, where London actually is winning the head-to-head 3-1, which is crazy. Now, there is definitely upset potential, right? Florida being most likely the better team here. But London has been a solid team, like we've said, all year long. And they've been winning the head-to-head in this matchup. So, I don't remember when the most recent matchup was. But that's still a really interesting stat, that London has actually beaten Florida 3 times, right? So, Florida looks like the better team, but London could definitely upset. So with my prediction, I'm actually going to take that upset. The London Royal Ravens, I'm predicting to come away in the game 5, 3-2. Losers bracket, round 3. It's going to feature the Florida Mutineers and Optic Gaming Los Angeles. And this one, I don't want to make it sound one-sided, but Florida is winning this head-to-head 3-0 right now. Florida is a much stronger team. Definitely can see them making a run in the losers bracket, you know, depending on, you know, who falls from the winner's side and who they face off against the loser's side. This one, I'm predicting Florida Mutineers to walk away in the game 4 with a 3-1 victory. Losers bracket round 3, match 2 is going to feature the New York Subliners and the Toronto Ultra. New York is leading this head-to-head 2-1, most recently being a 3-0. But with New York's turnaround in this second half, makes them hard to bet against. You know, although I don't want to just replicate the same result as it was last time, I think this one gonna be a 3-0 in favor of the New York Subliners. Hopping back up to our last round of the winners bracket before championship weekend is gonna feature the Battle of the Titans. And I mean battle, right? This one, Chicago Huntsmen versus Atlanta FaZe. Now this one, the first time we saw this all year long was a 3-0 in favor of Chicago. Now things have changed since then, right? A little bit of a meta, or no, was this right after the meta switch? I don't remember. But this one could go either way, right? I think the winner, I mean, you can't even say that, because then you got our next matchup that features Dallas and London. See, this could be an absolute huge couple of rounds here. So in this one, I got to go with history here. I mean, you know, although Atlanta did play them pretty close, I'm going to pick Chicago. I'm going to pick them in a 3-1. You know, Atlanta does steal a game mode here. Could be a domination. Could be could be any of them, honestly. Like 2 Battle of the Titans, they could literally steal any of them. But could I see this being a 3-0? Yeah. Could I see this going game 5? Yeah. Could I see this an absolute down to the wire round 11 game 5? Yeah. Could I see this one, you know, just kind of an average series? Yeah. That's what's crazy about this matchup, is this could go literally any way you can think of. So, like I said, I'm going to predict Chicago to come away with the 3-1, hopefully replicating history and knocking out Atlanta once again. Our second matchup, as we briefly touched on before, round 3, match 2 in the winners bracket, features the Dallas Empire versus the London Royal Ravens. Dallas is winning this head-to-head 3-0 in this one, but London still is a solid team, so you can't just, you know, write them off like it's nothing. London's a solid team, but Dallas is better. Prediction, we're going Dallas. We're going 3-0. Dallas have been on an absolute tear recently, moving them on versus their rival in the winners finals, Chicago Huntsmen. We are all done with the winners bracket in this one, which leaves us the winners finals with Chicago and Dallas, but we got some matches to catch up with in the losers bracket. First one in round 4, match 1 is going to feature the Atlanta FaZe and the Florida Mutineers. This head-to-head is crazy, right? These two teams have been pretty decent. I mean, the matchups have been pretty great. However, the head-to-head is tied 2-2, which is crazy. But Atlanta won the first 2. Florida has won the second 2. So even with Florida's recent wins in that matchup and the fact that they've been doing a lot better recently, I feel most confident saying Atlanta in this one. I don't know why, don't know what it is, but Atlanta, if this is, like, if they want to make it to, you know, what would be the losers finals against whoever, and actually make a run, this would be where they need to show Florida that they are the superior team, right? They cannot come into this matchup and be like, oh, it's just Florida, you know, we're just a better team. They need to come out and win this one. Like, they have to. I mean, like, they're also in the losers bracket, so they literally have to win. But this one, honestly, could go either way. But I'm going to say Florida, Game 5, Round 11. Someone's clutching up. Don't know who it is, but Atlanta is going to walk away with the win. Our losers bracket, Round 4, Match 2 is going to feature the London Royal Ravens and the New York Subliners. This one is also crazy, where both teams could win. London owns the head-to-head 3-1. However, the New York Subliners have won the last matchup between the two. It could, like I said, this could be a toss-up, could go either way. I don't think there's really going to be an upset in this one. I think that these guys finished, what, 5th, 6th, I think, overall. So, it could go either way. Who to pick? I'm going to go with London in this one. It's going to be a 3-1. And, you know, could I definitely see New York winning? Yeah. But I'm feeling confident over there. My UK brothers over in London, they're going to walk away in the Game 4, moving them on. In that losers bracket, Round 5, we only have one match, and it's our last match of the video. It's going to feature the Atlanta FaZe versus the London Royal Ravens. Atlanta wins this head-to-head so far 3-0. Although, you know, we've been talking of London so much, they've won, what? 3 matches overall. You know, they would have won against Toronto, they would have won against Florida, they would have lost to Dallas, they would have beat the Subliners, and then they're coming into this matchup. And unfortunately, I think this is where London falls. The clock strikes midnight, and this is where Atlanta is going to secure that top 3 placement, winning this one in the Game 4, 3-1. You know, London, very good showing out of them, but Atlanta is just that better team overall. So with the absolute craziness that is this weekend, and hopefully it's going to be just that awesome to watch. It's going to feature the best 3 teams we have, and no, I didn't just make it like this. It's actually how I predicted it. Could I see this happening? Of course. Could there be upsets? Of course. But Chicago Huntsmen, Dallas Empire in the winners finals. Loser of that drops down to the losers finals to face off against Atlanta. Winner of Chicago and Dallas is going to head to that grand finals. Loser heads down to face off against Atlanta with a shot at redemption, where the finals is going to be actually a best of 9 with the winners bracket side winner going up 1-0 in the series, which is weird. Like, I'd rather just have a best of 7 or something. Like, I don't know why they'd really do that. But hey, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting. But this is going to be the end of part 1. Part 2 will be up before championship weekend, where the final 3 teams battle it out for the title of our first ever CDL champion. And I'm going to make new predictions, obviously, depending on how everyone plays. Obviously, the bracket may not even be right, but we're going to go with my predictions versus what reality will be, depending if they're different or not. Could we see upsets? Of course. Could we see top teams fall early? Of course. We'll have to wait and find out by watching the CDL playoffs right now.